Coming of Age is coming up next. I'm your host, Josh Newby. First up today, a fascinating discussion on the different types of medical imaging and the diseases they can detect. Next, we'll talk Medicare, open enrollment, and what you really need to know, especially if this is your first time signing up. Finally, our good pal Kenny Holt joins us for some craft time. Coming of Age starts right now. As we age, staying active in life and involved in the community can become a challenge. But with Council on Aging of West Florida's range of home-based services, you remain healthy, independent, and engaged. From Meals on Wheels and respite care to senior dining sites and the retreat, you'll feel empowered to regain your freedom while retaining what makes you, you. We've been in the community for nearly 50 years, advocating for elders and supporting those who care for our parents and grandparents. We were there when your father's health began declining, when your mother needed companionship during the day. And guess what? We'll be there down the road when you need those services too. Now, join with us as we talk together about the aging issues that matter to you. Modern healthcare has been greatly impacted by the growth of the ability to detect disease through images created by increasingly high-tech equipment. What began with the discovery of X-rays in 1895 has evolved into a field of medicine that employs an arsenal of tools that can create a picture of the internal workings of our body. From broken bones to cancerous masses, today's imaging technology guides doctors as they diagnose and treat a vast array of illnesses and injuries. Vicki Jordan is Imaging Services Manager at Baptist Healthcare, and she joins us to discuss the types of imaging technology available today and why those tools are so important for maintaining good health. Vicki, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Josh. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let us start with mammography. What is mammography? How does it work? Tell us what that looks like.
All right. So mammography is basically an X-ray. It uses radiation, and we take an X-ray of the breast, and we're looking for any kind of abnormalities all the way up through breast cancer.
Okay, and you also have 3D mammography, right?
Yes. So at Baptist Hospital, several years ago, we got digital mammography, which took us away from using film and brought us into the digital world of using computers and that kind of thing. And then we bought 3D mammography. So in a regular mammography, what happens is the image is a flat image, and it was on a film or nowadays on a computer. It was just one flat image. That's all they could see. The 3D mammography is similar to a CAT scan or a CT that some people may have heard of, and it takes slices through the breast tissue. So it's kind of like the easiest way to explain it is like it's like peeling an onion. So when you have an onion, you start peeling it back, you can see layer by layer by layer, and that's the same concept that 3D mammography has. Is the radiologist is able to see the image, and then they're able to scroll through and see slice by slice by slice. So if there's maybe a patient that has like a breast mass or something, or it looks like there may be a breast mass, they're able to scroll through these images and determine, is that just an area of distortion that maybe the picture kind of made look like something that it really wasn't, or is there really a mass there? So it enables us to find breast cancer a lot easier and quicker and earlier on, so that we're able to treat it better. So it's great technology. We've really enjoyed having it, and we're lucky that we're able to, provide that service to our patients.
Good. Yeah, that's obviously great news. Let's talk through some of the different types of imaging that doctors use to diagnose a disease. I mentioned X-rays there in the intro. There's so many different images. I think of X-rays. I think that basically covers everything, but obviously it doesn't. Obviously, there's a lot of different technologies. So let's start with that. What exactly is an X-ray for?
Okay, so an X-ray, what we say is it's a quick, painless, easy test, and it's just looking inside the structures of your body. It uses a form of electromagnetic radiation. Typically, we use it for different parts of the body. Most of the time, we're looking for like broken bones, things like that. Sorry, I lost my screen. Anyway, we use it to find cancer, infections, different kind of blocked blood vessels, heart conditions. We use it for digestive system issues, Even sometimes we use it to find swallowed items, which I think that's kind of exciting. We get to find a lot of exciting things in radiology.
Yes. Now, how does that differ from a CT scan?
So a CT scan is going to be a little bit different. It's still using radiation, but a CT scan uses different angles. So it enables the radiologist not to just see like bone, but it enables them to see more the blood vessels, soft tissue. We use it to better diagnose different types of diseases. We also can use it to do look for injuries. We use it to do procedures, different types of biopsies to test for cancer. We also use it for radiation treatment planning and surgical planning.
Okay. That's fantastic. And I mean, it sounds like it gives you a lot more information, obviously, than what an X-ray does. And then to go even deeper, a sort of higher level of that is an MRI. Is that right?
Yes. So MRI is also kind of along the same lines, but MRI uses magnets. So as we always say in the radiology world, the magnet's always on. I know people always wonder why we're asking them to take off their earrings and their watches and their jewelry, but it impacts the magnet. So it uses a magnetic field, and then computer generated radio waves to see more detailed images in the body. And we also use it for different body parts, different tissues, skeletal issues. A lot is used in like orthopedic type work when people have injuries, from sports and different things like that. Another, along the lines of CT, it's going to give a lot more detailed information to the radiologist. We also use it in cardiology for watching the way the heart works. A lot of cool things for MRI.
Yeah. We have just a couple minutes left, but I want to make sure we cover some of these other exciting technologies, as if that wasn't enough already. An ultrasound. What is an ultrasound used for?
Okay, so ultrasound, I think a lot of people just always associate ultrasounds with, babies.
Right.
You have a baby and you're getting an ultrasound. So ultrasound does not use radiation either. They use a high frequency sound wave to produce images of different structures or areas within your body. Obviously, we all know people use them to check out their babies and that kind of thing, but we also use them for different areas of the bodies. It's able to help better diagnose and treat a different variety of diseases and conditions, cancers, different, we do different types of biopsies and procedures in that area as well.
Okay. Now this next one I actually do have a little bit of familiarity with. I've had a DEXA scan, but for those who haven't had that riveting experience, what is a DEXA scan?
Okay, so a DEXA scan to me is one of the easiest tests. It does use radiation, although a very low dose, but we are looking at the density of your bones. So your bones help you to walk, help you to move. So we're checking to see if the bone density is decreased, then your doctor would want to prescribe you a medication to help increase or better the bone density so that you're less risk for fracture, that type of thing.
Okay. Well, Vicki, we are all out of time, but I so appreciate you running through those with me. I have a better familiarity now with what's in store for my future, possibly. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Next on Coming of Age, we are discussing all things Medicare, so stay with us.
Why do people love ACT's retirement life communities? There are more reasons than just the active lifestyle. Like ACT's Life Care, a plan that protects your nest egg with predictable monthly fees, even if your healthcare needs increase. So you can enjoy a carefree today and a worry-free tomorrow. Plan a visit and see why our satisfaction rating with current residents stands at 98%. ACT's Retirement Life Communities, where loving kindness lives.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
It's a great place to raise a family.
Strength, fuerza. When I look back where we've come from to where we are today, it makes my heart very happy.
Potential.
Potencia.
For me, this house means all of us together.
So, together.
Security.
security.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
If you've had some form of private or employer-sponsored insurance for most of your working life, you may be confused and anxious about signing up for Medicare. Different parts, different providers, and various limitations can be overwhelming for people who just want to make sure they stay healthy. Well, never fear, 2 local experts on the topic join us now. Thank you both for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Marcy, let's start with you. How soon before folks turn 65 should they actually start researching and signing up for Medicare?
That's a great question. Actually, Part A, you're automatically enrolled in when you turn 65, as long as you or your spouse have the working hours to cover that. So the next option that you have to choose is Part B. If you have been on Social Security before you turn 65, at least 4 months, you're automatically going to be assigned Part B.
Okay.
If you have not, then you do need to enroll in Part B, and you can do that up to 3 months before your 65th birthday. So you can go online to do that. They will send you some information by mail, or obviously you can reach out to us or Council on Aging to help you through that process. If you don't want Part B, you do not have to have it.
Right.
If you're covered under employer insurance, because Part B does have a premium, so that is something that you will want to decide. Okay, so that's very important.
Good. That's relatively easy. Lindsay, is there an open enrollment period?
There's actually going to be several different enrollment periods depending on when you turn 65. When you turn 65, you're going to go into your initial enrollment period. There's also an annual election period that will run from October 15th through December 7th of every year. Okay. And that would be for people that are currently enrolled in Advantage plans or prescription drug plans, and they may want to make changes to that. There's also other election periods that will come around, and that would be, for instance, if someone was retiring or moving to another state.
Okay. Marcy, there's a lot of different parts of Medicare. Yes. They cover different things. It's confusing even for me. Tell us about that.
Okay, so there is Part A, and the way to remember that is Hospital A, Hospital.
Okay.
Part B is for your doctors. The way to remember that is be a doctor. And then, so you have Part A and Part B. That covers 80% of your health coverage.
Right.
And then you have 20% that needs to be covered in some way. You have a choice between a supplement or an Advantage plan.
Okay.
And so a supplement will cover all of your health care cost, and then you get a Part D plan. That is called Original Medicare.
Right.
Or you can choose an Advantage plan that will take over Original Medicare, and that will cover everything.
Okay. Lindsay, expound on that Medicare Advantage, because I see a lot of commercials for this, a lot of ads for this. I want to make sure people understand.
Okay. So the Medicare Advantage plan, that is going to come into play with your original Medicare Part A and Part B. What that does not cover, your Advantage plan is going to cover most of those costs. Most of your Medicare Advantage plans are going to be in-network, so you're going to have to use doctors or hospitals that are in the particular network of the particular plan that you choose. There's also going to be co-pays that are associated with your Advantage plan. There's also out-of-pocket maximums. Those out-of-pocket maximums can be up to $10,000 per year.
Wow.
Depending on the plan.
Okay. Now, I mean, Medicare, obviously for older folks, and I know the people that we deal with, they encounter a lot of challenges that older folks do, such as, hospice care, assisted living facilities, prescription drug costs, stuff like that. Does Medicare cover those challenges that seem specific to senior citizens?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Medicare does cover that. It covers hospice care. It covers, home health care to some extent. Obviously, there are some limitations depending on the plans and that type of thing, and prescription drug plan depending on whether you do the Plan D that we discussed,
right,
or an Advantage plan. Absolutely, those are covered. So yes, you do have all of that coverage.
That's good news. That's a relief for a lot of people, I
absolutely.
imagine. Lindsay, I can imagine that if you've been on private health insurance for your whole life, enrolling in something like Medicare can be sort of intimidating, especially if your employer has always sort of taken care of that part of your life for you. What is it like signing up for the first time?
Well, when you are aging in, so before you turn 65, you are going to get a lot of calls from companies. You're going to get a lot of mail, and it can be very overwhelming.
Sure.
So having someone that you can trust, that you can go to and talk about all of your different options and choices, that is where we would come into play, as we could help them decipher what is going to be the better option for them. You may have an insurance company that just does your car insurance,
right,
or you may have an insurance company that has taken care of your previous health insurance, and they may not be licensed to discuss Medicare plans. So you want to make sure that you get in touch with someone that is going to give them the information that they need and licensed in the Medicare industry.
Good. I'm glad you touched on that because, Marcy, I go to health fairs. I'm only in my 30s. I go to health fairs and I see salespeople trying to push their individual product, right?
Absolutely.
And they're there to make a profit. Let's not kid ourselves. So where can a senior citizen, they're vulnerable to fraud, they're vulnerable to being taken advantage of. Where can they go for free, keyword free, non-biased information about all this?
And I would say the best place to go, obviously, is Council on Aging.
Sure.
You have non-biased people there to help and give you as much information as you need. Obviously, we work for Gulf Winds Credit Union, and we are senior benefit specialists as well as financial advisors. So we offer free advice for our members and non-members. So if you need any advice outside of Council on Aging, or if you just want to come to us first, you're welcome to go to our website at gogulfwinds.com, and there's a link there to set an appointment, or you can call our call center. So there are obviously a lot of other options, but you do want to make sure that you go to an agent that services several different plans, because you want to make sure that you have lots of different options.
Absolutely. Gulf Winds is always there for our seniors, providing great advice.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys. I also want to provide a plug for the SHINE program, which stands for Serving Health Insurance Needs of Elders, and folks can reach them at 494-7101. Another great resource, just like you folks, just like Council on Aging. As much help and as much information as we can get the seniors, I think they'll be better for it. Thank you both so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you again for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Next, it's craft time on Coming of Age with our buddy Kenny Holt from TLC Caregivers. Stay with us.
Since 1989, TLC Caregivers has been providing the special help people need to stay independent in their own homes. TLC is an employer of choice in the home care market. Our employees are screened with Level 2 background screens, drug-free, and have caregiving experience. If you have time, enjoy people, and are interested in joining us, go to tlccaregivers.com to learn more about becoming a TLC caregiver, or visit us in Cordova Square.
When cancer tries to take you away from the things that matter most, Baptist Cancer Institute offers caring physicians and the most innovative treatment options. With convenient locations and a wide array of support programs and services, we're here to help you during the most difficult of times. As a member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, we're bringing even more innovative cancer care to our community right here at home. When you need cancer care, we'll be there.
Has the pandemic dampened your creativity or sparked it? Regardless, Kenny Holt with TLC Caregivers is here to give us some much needed and structured inspiration for a craft that can be done safely at home. Kenny, thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Last time we did a terrarium, and even though I'm very craft challenged, even I was successful at it at home. So I'm eager to see what you have for us.
That's our goal with activities with TLC Caregivers, is to do something that is easy, but something that you want to be creative and crafty and have fun.
Absolutely.
And we always say that: be creative, be crafty, have fun.
That's right.
And if you're not having fun, why do it?
Exactly.
Our thought today was, I'm sure a lot of people have seen the elaborate military shadow boxes to commemorate their retirement, their career. A lot of colleges do it, same thing. A lot of people will do the massive frames and put a uniform or some child's uniform or dress or something. This is kind of a downscale of that, something that means something to you. Went ahead and created some so that you could take a look at them. We live along the coast and have the most beautiful beaches and seashells, and a lot of people go on vacation and collect those, so that's something you can do in a shadow box. As well, a lot of people collect wine, corks. You can be creative with that. As also your grandfather's marbles or marbles you had when you were a kid. I still have the marbles from when I was a child, and I like to display them. So you can create that in a shadow box. And then, of course, on our last show, one of the things we talked about, we painted a magnolia leaf, and you can even put that in a shadow box. So it's really up to you what you want to do with your craft. And again, be creative. Have fun. And really, all you need is you get your shadow box, and it's up to you which size you get. You can buy these at craft stores. You can buy them at the local big box stores. We won't name any names. You shop where you want to. But really, all it is a picture frame that has a little bit of depth, so you can put items in there. I will tell you, the corks are pushing the limits of the depth that you could have for these frames, but as you can see, they work.
That's right.
So, my thought today was we would take grandma's old buttons, and the one thing you want to do, if you have something that you want to be up in the center, you want to put those down first. So that you can see them. I'm not sure that I have any of these, but you can place them. And then, how hard is that?
It's the easiest thing.
They're there.
Pouring one thing into another.
They're there, but it's a way to display something that you want. Now, I also, and I'm imagining these buttons are going to do the same thing. The seashells, I redid it so many times that the back where you lock down, because every time I turned it over, they would slide down, so I had to fill in. And again, you're just going to have to look at it and see, is that what I want? Is there something else that I can do? How do I want it? So, just going to add a little bit more in here. Now, if you're going to have the background showing, one of the, like this one, we put a background instead of the board that came with it because it looks better with a board. You can even get very formal with materials, and again, it's whatever you want. And it depends upon what you put in there, if that is seen or not. But once your items are in there, of course, you want to lock down.
Yeah, see, I see what you're saying about it. It's a tight, it can be a tight fit.
Yes, very much so.
Do you want a tight fit, or does it really matter?
Well, again, you want the tight fit so that it doesn't move. If it's something that's fragile, you really don't want a tight fit. But if you're doing something fragile, you're only going to put one item in there.
That's true.
So, and if you look at that.
Look at that.
Now you can see at the top.
There's a gap.
That's come down. So, really easy fix. You add more.
That's right.
If you have more. And we do.
Perfect.
And again, it's a great way to display family treasures. Instead of sitting in a box.
That way this can actually be seen. You don't have to dig through the box, you know, once a year to look at it. It can be permanently
There's a
displayed.
commercial out right now that talks about you don't really honor your grandmother by having her china in a dusty box stored somewhere. This way, you can see it. You can put it where you want to. And me personally, I've always loved buttons, and I think they're such a neat thing. And if you have your grandmother's or your mother's or even yours, it's a great way to put them out and say, this is part of who I am.
Absolutely.
And you saw how hard that was.
That's very difficult, Kenny.
Very
I'm not sure I'll be able to swing that.
I bet you can.
I bet even my son could do that, I think. Pour one thing into another. What are some other things that we can put into shadow boxes?
I actually had some of those ideas yesterday, and they've all eluded me.
They've all
it's
vanished.
really whatever you collect.
Sure.
Matchbox cars.
That's a good idea.
Matches.
That's a good idea.
A lot of people collect the matches, or they used to.
Right.
So again, you may have a family member's collection.
Yeah.
And it would depend upon the size that you need, but you can buy bigger ones. You
Right.
can buy fancy ones that are shaped in forms that might fit what you want. I just bought very easy, small for this project.
Yeah.
To have them out for display.
I'm imagining even like a themed shadow box, say from somewhere you went on vacation. Pick up a postcard from there, a seashell, or some sort of signifier.
Photos.
Yeah,
Great
put
way.
those in the shadow box.
Absolutely, and that's what I was talking about with the seashells. A lot of people collect seashells
Right.
When they go on vacation, or even us. We live right here.
Right.
We go out to the beach and we collect the seashells. And again, it's a great way to display, like you said, something that you want to remember on vacation.
Definitely.
And it's items that you picked up and collected.
Did you do all these recently?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
they look great. They really do.
Yes. And like I said, they're very easy. And that's our idea about being creative and using things that you already have. Now, I didn't have the shadow box frames, but they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
And you can find them, and then using your own items. And if you're a painter, we have the leaf.
Yep. Great way to
display your art. Or like I said, a lot of people do the bigger shadow boxes for football teams, baseball, the jerseys,
right,
or a baseball collection with a bat.
Definitely.
Whatever you're collecting, really, there's
That's right.
the options are limitless.
Definitely.
What you can do with it.
Well, a great activity during the pandemic, a great activity to sort of relive happier, more carefree times. Thank you so much, Kenny, as always.
Well, thank you again for inviting us, and TLC Caregivers activities. Be creative.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
Most importantly, have fun.
Yes.
That's right. And until next time, enjoy life. Have fun. You've earned it.